In the desert outside Las Vegas, 60 miles from the glittering strip, a 12-foot deep concrete vault was buried in the dirt. Inside, 6 tons of silver, a fortune in rare coins, a treasure chest worth millions. At first, it looked like an overdose, maybe even suicide. But when police looked closer, they found a love triangle, a missing fortune, and a story so wild it could only happen in Vegas. This is the story of Ted Binion and the curse of the Binion Hoard. To understand Ted Binion, you have to understand his father, Benny Binion. Benny was a true old-school gangster from Texas who ran illegal lotteries and was once accused of murder. In 1946, he packed up the family and moved to Las Vegas, where he opened the Binion's Horseshoe Casino. Benny's philosophy was simple: treat the high rollers right and give gamblers the best odds in town. But in 1964, Benny was convicted of tax evasion and stripped of his gaming license. Ted was the face of the Horseshoe. He was charismatic, loved the nightlife, and was a genius at calculating odds. But he also had a dark side. He loved drugs, specifically marijuana and heroin, and he hung out with dangerous people. While Ted ran the casino, he was also building a secret fortune in the basement. It was called the Binion Hoard. But by the late 90s, Ted's drug problems and his friendship with a mobster named Fat Herbie Blitzstein caught up with him. In 1998, Nevada regulators permanently revoked his gaming license. He was banned from the casino he had spent his life building. He had to move his treasure. But where do you hide 6 tons of silver? Ted had a wild idea. He owned a vacant lot in Pahrump, Nevada, a dusty town in the desert. He hired a contractor named Rick Tabish to build a concrete bunker there, 12 feet deep. In July 1998, in the middle of the night, Ted supervised as trucks hauled the entire hoard out of the Horseshoe and buried it in the desert. The only 2 people who knew the combination to the vault? Ted Binion and his trusted contractor, Rick Tabish. This is where the story takes a turn. In his 50s, Ted met a 23-year-old topless dancer named Sandy Murphy at a club called Cheetahs. He fell hard. He left his wife, moved Sandy into his $1 million home, and put her in his will. But Sandy was reportedly having an affair with someone else. Rick Tabish, the very man Ted trusted to bury his silver. On September 16, 1998, Ted Binion called his lawyer, Jim Brown. He was paranoid. He suspected Sandy was cheating. According to the lawyer's testimony, Ted said chilling words. "Take Sandy out of the will. If she doesn't kill me tonight, if I am dead, you will know what happened." The next day, September 17th, Sandy Murphy called 911. She said she found Ted dead on a mattress on the floor. Empty pill bottles of Xanax were nearby, and heroin paraphernalia was in the bathroom. Initially, police ruled it an accidental overdose. Ted was known to chase the dragon, smoking heroin. But friends and family were suspicious. They said Ted never took heroin orally, but the autopsy showed heroin in his stomach. Just 2 days later, on September 19th, at 2 o'clock in the morning, a sheriff's deputy in Pahrump saw lights out in the desert. He drove closer to Ted's vacant lot and found a backhoe and a dump truck. Rick Tabish and several other men were digging up the vault. They were arrested on the spot. Tabish claimed Ted had told him, "If anything happens to me, get the silver and give it to my daughter." But police didn't buy it. When they searched Tabish's belongings, they found a love letter from Sandy Murphy, along with the combination to the vault. In May 2000, the trial began. It was a media circus. The prosecution brought in famous forensic pathologist Dr. Michael Baden, who testified that the drugs alone wouldn't have killed Ted. He had been forcibly suffocated. The jury convicted them. Sandy Murphy got 22 years to life. Rick Tabish got 25 years to life. In the 2004 retrial, the defense brought in their own army of experts to contradict Dr. Baden. This time, the jury acquitted both Murphy and Tabish of murder. After the legal battles ended, the estate sold the hoard. In 2001, a company called Spectrum Numismatics bought the silver dollars for $3.3 million. The coins were authenticated and sealed in special holders by NGC, with a distinctive green label that says Binion Hoard. For coin collectors, that label adds a premium. It's a piece of history. They are some of the most famous silver dollars on the market today. But here's the kicker. Experts believe the vault in Pahrump was just part of the story. Ted Binion was paranoid. He didn't trust banks. He allegedly buried cash, gold, and diamonds around his Las Vegas home. Ted Binion was a man who lived by the rules of Old Vegas. High stakes, dangerous friends, and a fortune in silver buried in the dirt. In the end, the treasure was recovered, but the truth about his death and the location of the rest of his money remains a mystery buried just as deep. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Binion Hoard, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories of crime, history, and hidden treasure.